covering all 4 major sports in the District of Champions. It's the DC Crossover Podcast with your hosts, Mike Cerrone and Ben Simpson.
Hello and welcome to episode 115 of the DC Crossover. I am Ben Simpson. That is Mike Cerrone, and we are glad to be back. It is a day later than usual. I know we usually drop our episodes on Monday evenings, but we're busy gentlemen. I've also been sick. I got the big COVID.
Got the vid.
It hit our household pretty hard because you get it through. My daughter goes to daycare, so she got it first. Then it went to my wife, Abby, and then it hit me on Thursday last week, and not fun. I mean, it lived up to the hype. I made it through 2 years without getting it, and then I finally got it, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was sucky. It was not fun, but we are back in action here today, and as we continue the off-season episodes, we do remind you check out the social media accounts at the DC Crossover and at Cerrone16, both on Twitter, and follow the TikTok at DC Crossover Podcast is the talk. And then also check out the other podcast, Bird's Eye View with Erica McCall. Episodes drop every Wednesday morning. We're in season 2 of that. I believe we're on episode 4 coming this week. Last week was the episode with her agent, Mike Count. That was awesome. This week we got Sierra Burke. It might even just be Sierra Burke. It's Burke or Burkhart. You'll see it for yourselves. Again, I'm fighting off COVID right now, so my brain's not fully there. Check out Bird's Eye View for sure. And hey, if you want to download the Contender app, waste of a download. As I welcome in my partner Mike, and so I did get the vid. And you've gotten it. You got it once, right?
No.
Oh man, I could have sworn you've already gotten it. Oh, that's ridiculous.
I feel like a pest control guy that literally has like a shield and is just fighting off COVID everywhere. Because obviously, in my job, there's COVID surrounding everybody.
Yeah, it's a petri dish.
In my school, they have literally probably, I think, over the last 2 months, they probably had 40 cases.
Right.
Your boy. Money immune system.
That's
unbelievable. My girlfriend was with her the night before, obviously, and she got COVID the next day. Money, negativo for your boy over here.
That
every single time.
Unbelievable.
Feeling great.
Wow, because like I avoided it for a long time, and I thought I was in the clear, and then that's the thing though, being around kids will do it. I mean, that's what happens. Kids get it. And I feel like it's going around everywhere, and we're not going to talk too much about it because everyone's been talking about COVID for 2 years, so it's not like it's that interesting. But still, I am hopefully on the mend here. I'm back in action, and we got a lot going on in this episode. We are going to do our first draft of the off season. We're going to be hitting up the Disney Pixar draft, and we'll clarify what that means when it gets to draft time. But besides that, Mike, I did want to, before we get into our rewind and stuff, and because it's a little more casual show, we kind of talk about whatever, I did want to see if you've seen a little bit about the recent golf news with Dustin Johnson, Kevin Na, you had
Graham McDowell.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of, basically, and I'm gonna go right off what you're saying here because I already know exactly what you're leading into. So the Live Tour, the LIV Tour, or whatever they want to call it. Now, I'm not, perplexed in all these different words you want to say about this tour. Now, I don't really care about it, to be honest with you.
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
and we're not going to get into like the politics side of it
yeah.
on this show because Mike and I aren't the guys to do that. But as far as from a purely sports level, I think it's pretty interesting about with these names that are leaving.
Right. It's kind of crazy how I think Phil came out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and he was saying that he is making the move, making the change,
which is what we all figured. I mean,
right.
I read the book about him, that where the quotes got pulled before the book came out and shown around to everybody, where Phil was kind of basically telling everybody, hey, I don't like the PGA Tour anymore. I'm gonna go to this other tour.
Right. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is you're looking at this tour and they're trying to compete. I had a friend ask, what is this whole entire tour about? Like, I have no idea what it's about. I don't watch golf. What is it about? And I compared it kind of to the XFL,
Sure.
but funded by
Way more money.
a lot more money. And that's the thing. And that's why you look at a guy like Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson is probably the biggest name currently on that roster. Obviously, I don't know if Phil is playing in the first event or not as of right now. But at the same time, you're looking at it, and Dustin Johnson has got the most waves for joining and resigning from the PGA Tour. And people have to look at it this way. Kevin Na, okay, he'll go out there. He's a pretty good. I say pretty good golfer, like I'm Tiger Woods, but no, he's a pretty good golfer on the tour for the most part. He's getting up there in age, and he's going to compete for the early tournaments in the season when the field's not as strong and different things like that. I would say he is a B-list golfer.
Yeah,
like people know it. People know his name. He's a good golfer, but he ain't Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, I fully
not,
agree.
He's not Jordan Spieth when Jordan Spieth is on his game. He's not Justin Thomas.
He's not DJ. He's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing about DJ is everyone's like, man, why are you going over there? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? DJ is literally like 36, 37 years old or something like that. He's getting up there in age. He's
made like $90 million or whatever for playing on the tour already. Like he's been
on the tour for 14 years.
Right.
14 years about. Yeah, I thought I saw some today. Maybe he's on it for 12, but I saw he joined the PGA Tour.
Is he the one with the smoke show wife?
Yeah. Paulina Gretzky.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is he is not going to be competing in majors every single year like he usually does, because you see guys like JT, you see guys still Jordan Spieth after his lull for a few years. Rory's still pretty much in his prime for the most part, but you're also seeing other guys like Will Zalatoris is now coming. That guy is like 12 years old. I mean, you're seeing a lot of other guys on the PGA Tour that are going to be competing for majors. Majors make the most money. Majors have the biggest purses. Also, the FedEx Cup, if you win it, you win $10 million. The Saudi Tour is giving him $150 million to go over there, and they're playing like what, like I don't know, 6 events or something like that.
It's not.
Go
ahead.
No, not to mention it's literally a different format. You're playing 3 days. They have team events. They're doing like it's kind of like a like you ever seen the Premier League Wiffle, like the Premier Wiffle Ball League on TikTok and social media and stuff like that? It's that. It's basically the exact same as that compared to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, the peons are on the buses in AA and stuff like that. Premier League Wiffle has their own formats, their own this, their own that, and they're all doing their own thing. Now, obviously, the money's different situation. But you're looking at it. Graham McDowell, major winner. Kevin Na, tournament winner. I think there was one other major winner I'm looking at. I think Charles Schwartzel, he's in there as well. There's other major winners in there, but all these guys are past the prime. DJ, the biggest name, obviously, in there. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. The difference is that he's not going to be competing every single year because he's getting older, and he has those lulls too with his putter and stuff like that. So you're looking at it and saying he can still hit the hell out of the ball and whatnot, but if his putter's not working for 6 months, all of a sudden he's a year older and all these other guys are hitting the ball 10 yards farther. So it's just a little bit different. I think that, bias aside of whatever you want to say about each tour, he's making a ton of money. And for what, 3 years, 4 years, however long he plays in this tour, he's going to be making probably $200 million, which he can't do on the PGA Tour.
It's as if, with the XFL comparison, it's as if the XFL came in and said, Carson Wentz, I'm going to give you a fat, $150 million contract to come play in the XFL instead of the NFL. And my only thing, and then we'll move on. My only thing is I wonder what this will do to something like the Champions Tour. If this Saudi league is able to draw guys that are kind of at the end of their run at the PGA and would probably be transitioning to the Champions Tour, if they just go overseas, maybe make a little more money than they would on the Champions Tour, but still have the bigger names,
Right.
in the scene. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, it's not affected right now, but it just would be interesting to watch down the line what that could do when guys are weighing their options as far as possibly going into the Champions Tour instead.
Right. And in the Champions Tour, the only difference for the Champions Tour is that you have to be 50. Right. Yes, you have guys like Phil Mickelson who can go out there and probably beat Graham McDowell. I mean, Phil Mickelson, it's not like his short game has just disappeared. And he's still hitting bombs and hellacious
He's literally
seeds.
tailor-made to be a old-time golfer because his short game is the best,
right,
and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but like you're saying, kind of like guys like Charles Schwartzel, who's getting up there. Like I said, major winners, tournament winners, these guys who have won before on the PGA Tour, who are getting up there in age, could that sway them and basically, almost dissipate the entire Champions Tour? Maybe the Champions Tour lowers their age to 45. I mean, obviously that probably won't happen, but because you're seeing Phil go out there win the PGA Championship at 50. I just think that when you're looking at it, it's a different situation when it comes down to, is this league going to survive? Because right now they don't have any TV deals. You have to watch them on, I don't know, YouTube or something random.
I don't know how. I mean, no one's going to watch them. No one. I mean, I guess the most diehard golf fans are going to figure out how to stream it, but I mean, the Saudis have the money; they could go, hire a third-party firm to put it all together for them. I'm sure, but a lot of question marks in the air. But it's interesting just because this news broke within the last few days about all these various golfers leaving. So, wanted to get the high school golf champion. I want you to win the Coach of the Year this upcoming year, Mike. That's my goal.
I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I mean, two-time district state champs in a row now. If I go in there and we win the district,
the expectations are pretty darn high. That's the problem. You don't want to go into. You want low expectations. You want to take the rebuild. That's what you want to be involved with.
Exactly.
Let's hit up the rewind machine. Chance to look back at the previous week in DC sports, and I'll tell you, not much to talk about because the only team that really played a game this week is the Washington Nationals. So I'll run through this real quick. 21-35 on the year, fifth place in the NL East. Monday, losing to the Mets 13-5. Fetty gives up 6 earned runs in an inning and a third. That's all he lasts. Cesar Hernandez goes 3 for 5 with an RBI. Tuesday, lost to the Mets 10-0. That's fun. Mets score 10 runs on 17 hits. Nats score 0 runs on 7 hits. Corbin gives up 7 earned runs in 4 and a third. Wednesday, it continues. Shutout for the second game in a row, losing 5-0 in this one. Sorry, I was getting a call, so it stopped the music. And we are back in action. Hold on. This is live radio here. This is what happens. Rewind music, and there we go, everybody. Wednesday, losing the Mets 5-0. Shutout, second game in the row, as I said. Then we start the Red Series. Did not start off great. 8-1 loss. Yoanna Doan gives up 3 earned runs and 5 and a third. Josh Bell did homer in this one. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all wins for the Nats. 8-5, 10-8, and 5-4. The fun one was Friday. Lane Thomas hits 3 bombs in one game. That came out of nowhere. And then Josiah Gray threw a gem. 6 innings, 1 earned runs, 9 Ks. Now, it is the Reds, who are terrible. Saturday, Soto hits 2 bombs. I did watch this one. The Nats break a 7-7 tie in the 9th. And then Sunday, beating the Reds 5-4. Corbin allows 3 earned runs over 6 innings. And the crazy one with this one was Keibert Ruiz picked off a runner at first base to end the game. It was a walk-off pickoff. You don't see that very often. Not much else to say. I mean, DC United enjoying their long break here. Their next game will be June 18th against the Chicago Fire. And then the Commanders news was just that Ryan Fitzpatrick did retire, announced his retirement, which I feel like we all kind of figured that was coming. I don't think it was like a big surprise. But, what could have been in D.C., It could have been the Fitzpatrick era. We got a game, half a game and a half, whatever it was. I mean, we didn't get much of Ryan Fitzpatrick, did we?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole entire thing is I thought it was kind of funny how we had all this hype for like 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, Fitzpatrick is retired, and they had a picture of him, I think, on ESPN in the WFT uniform. It's like throw a picture of him playing. He only played a quarter for us, so it's not like he made a impact here.
A quarter. I mean, it's crazy to think about that. Unbelievable. when we're as we are doing the off season, because I don't really want. There's not really much to talk about with Juan Soto. I mean, as far as Nats talk, I mean, there just always tends to be Juan Soto trade talks. We don't really have to get into it much. I think let's get into the more fun part of the program today. Is of course, if you've been listening for a while now, it's our drafts, and we have another one in store for you today for the off season. And today's draft category, you can see by the description of the episode, the Disney Pixar draft, animated only movies. And the reason why it's Disney Pixar is because obviously Pixar has a lot of great movies as well. They are owned by Disney, so it's Disney/Pixar. And we are doing animated movies only. So you're not going to get your Mr. 3000. Remember that one?
Yeah.
With Bernie Mac, right?
Yeah, Bernie Mac.
You're not getting your Princess Diaries and some of these other ones, the Pirates of the Caribbean, all that. You're not getting the live action. That's going to be another time. Instead, we're going animated movies only. And
funny thing is, by the way, I was thinking when I was going through the list earlier today, I actually was looking at all the live action ones with real people, and I was like, man, that's going to be on my list. That's going to be on my list. And all of a sudden I was like, man, I think I made a list of like 15 already. It's like, there's some movies in the world today that people don't understand. Like, this is a Disney production,
right?
Like, this is not, Warner Brothers or whatever the other ones are. I don't even know. But it's kind of crazy how many hits Disney has done in live action that aren't like,
they're the kings, man.
It's regular ones.
They do everything. I mean, it's
kings.
Crazy. They are the kings of the game. But
Love
we
Walt.
are sticking with animated. There you go, like Walt. We're sticking with animated movies today. The only well, I guess it doesn't even matter. I was going to say the only stipulation was no Disney original movies, but those are live action, so we're not doing those. But that would be a good names to throw in there too, maybe someday. So this will be the Disney Pixar draft. If you've heard our drafts before, the way it works is you pick our starting 5. We'll go back and forth, taking turns drafting our starting 5, and then we will put up the graphic on the Twitter. Again, that's at the DC Crossover on Twitter. I'll put the graphic up, and you vote for the team you enjoy and like the best between Mike and I. At this point, we've drafted Thanksgiving dinners. We've drafted didn't we do like a summertime barbecue or something?
Yeah. We did summertime foods.
Summertime foods was a great one. We did best DC sports names. We've done fictional athletes. Backyard baseball was the one that started it all, I feel like, from the draft side.
A lot of hits.
A lot of great episodes, and I'm excited for this one.
It's the off season.
It's the off season. Going into the draft, Mike. So you mentioned you're doing the research, doing the legwork. Are there a few movies, and obviously don't say them, are there a few movies that are kind of like, I gotta get these? Like these are my favorites. I gotta get these.
There are, I would say, out of probably my top, at least my top 2, I have to get one, which I will. If we're doing it snake style.
No, I get to pick 5, and then you get to pick 5. That's
yeah, right. I'm gonna get stuck with the rescuers or something. That's the thing. I think I would say my top 3. I'm hoping to get 2 of them, but at the same time, and I'm not going to disclose my top 3.
No,
that's only for off-air situations. So if you want me to talk to you about that, at Cerrone16 on Twitter.
Cerrone16, hit him up on there.
And if you have my phone number, don't text it.
Don't text him. Don't text him. But here's the thing: the key is you got to have a balanced starting 5 here.
Yes.
That's the key with these drafts, because look, I'm sure Mike and I, we can go back and forth and get our top 1, 2, and those will be solid. The real intrigue with the draft is always, who do you get in the 4 and 5 spots? Yeah. That's what will make or break a draft, as Mike and I have discovered over the years doing these drafts. That is really where it is, because it's one thing to have the number 1 pick. That anybody can draft the number 1. Anybody can go get John Wall. But where can you find Oli Petrov, or whatever that guy's name that was the Wizards pick from back in the day? Remember that guy Petrov? He was goddamn awful.
You know what's a good one we should do as well is Disney animated character basketball starting 5.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, almost like a almost like a Space Jam-esque, where you're like, yeah, you're making your animated basketball team. Okay,
Right.
that's bank that,
Yeah, but put it in the doc.
All right, yeah, I'll put it in the doc, everybody. So, all right, I'm gonna go pull up a fictional. Well, I guess there's only two of us, so I was gonna say a fictional die, but I'll do the finger bit. So, I am officially holding well, I almost said a finger. That would have given it away. Let me redo that and mix it up down underneath here. And all right, I'm holding one or two fingers beneath the
Two.
table. It is one. There's one. So, and I don't cheat. I'm a man of honor here. So I will have the number one
Man
pick.
of honor.
I will have the number one pick here today. And I am on the clock, and this is the 1-1. There's no argument in my eyes for what should be number one here. I guess there could be some argument. I could be
Okay.
dissuaded, but I got one that I had circled on my draft board. I've got a separate doc for my draft board. It's right there at the top. It is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It is, of course, Toy Story. Toy Story is my number one.
Nice.
I just think that, of course, coming out in 1995, it was actually the first Pixar film when they by that studio. It was the one that kind of started everything off. And what a movie to do that. I feel like it's an absolute classic. You've got obviously some tremendous names in there: Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles. You've got just iconic characters: Woody, Buzz. I mean, the toys. It's as far as like the products you could buy from the movie and things like that.
Right.
I had the Slinky Dog. I had
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head for sure. I had Rex as well. I had Woody, of course, Woody and Buzz. I was Buzz for Halloween one year. I feel like I have the picture at the ready to show you. But while I search for that, Mike, I feel like there's just no, in my eyes, this is a true number one, worthy of a number one pick.
So my top overall movie was not Toy Story, but that was one of my top three. So, I've seen that picture before.
There's Buzz with the. I had
look
the
at those wings.
It was one of those ones where actually the wings would fold in, and you could press the chest piece, and they would, boom, they would fly out. Like it was pretty cool. Got a lot of ladies back there.
Oh man, yeah. Jeez, all right. Yeah, but I think honestly, Toy Story. It's a great movie.
So this was not on your top. Like this would, if you had the number one pick, you were not going Toy Story then.
No.
Okay.
That's the thing though, is the best Toy Story, I think, gimmick is I saw it, maybe it was probably a couple of years ago, and a friend of mine saw it a couple of days ago, and it's where Buzz is stuck on someone's like bumper, and then Woody's just sitting there like dangling. And all of a sudden, like you're just driving down Route 28, and all of a sudden you look over and there's like a Kia Sedona that's sitting there with Buzz and Woody on the back. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna incriminate myself. I took out my phone and I started recording.
Yeah,
and it's on my Snapchat somewhere. I gotta find it.
It's
it was
iconic,
great,
man. There's so many great moments in that, and there's like subtle jokes that you missed as a kid.
Yeah,
that like as an adult, you're like, oh my god, that's like hilarious. I can't believe I didn't even notice that. That's
what was Don Rickles? What character was he?
He was, I would assume, he played either maybe the pig or
Ham. No, he wasn't Ham.
I feel like I should know this.
Trying to think of his voice, because Rex was a famous comedian, if I'm not mistaken.
Don Rickles in Toy Story was Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, that's.
Oh, he was.
Okay.
Oh well, then again, this was 1995, so that's a long time ago.
Yeah. A lot of the actors and stuff are.
I was 4.
Yeah. It's not. Obviously, but then having the iconic. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen in this was as the two stars. Pretty unbelievable. Obviously, both of them having tremendous careers. And the film holds a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. Can't go wrong with it.
Yeah. So I think while I do agree there are others that I wouldn't be surprised if you pick next, I will say Toy Story is definitely my 1-1.
Okay, all right. So we talked about Toy Story enough.
Yeah.
So we gotta go a little faster, I think. I haven't seen the time clock here. We should have a little clock on the side that has like a countdown for when you have to make your pick.
Yeah, true.
That's we don't get paid enough from the contender. So all right, here we go. So my number one pick, the pick is in.
Oops, wrong one. There we go.
Oh,
little guitar for you.
wow, a good lead up to it.
So second pick of the draft here.
Second pick in the draft. This movie originated in 1992.
Okay.
My favorite Disney movie of all time. That's animated, not favorite of all time. That's live action. Aladdin, 1992.
Wow.
The story of a poor boy in some country out in the Middle East or something like that. And
he's a great description of this.
And
some guy in the Middle East.
He steals some bread, and his friend's a monkey.
Abu, right? Was the monkey?
Yeah. What are you questioning?
I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I mean, 1992. That's when I was born.
Yeah. But it's like he steals bread. A princess comes around, and all he wants to be. Robin Williams. You can't go wrong with Robin Williams.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried. And then there's honestly, when you're looking at it, I don't really know any of the actors unless I look it up, except for Robin Williams.
No, there's not that many ones that we would know. Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that movie, the storyline and the soundtrack was great for 1992.
Yeah, the Genie by Robin Williams' performance as the Genie is probably one of the best animated characters, and especially like voices of the characters and that sort of thing in any sort of animated movie ever. So yeah,
right.
I'm definitely down with that.
It's just, when you're looking at Aladdin, I just think the storyline, it being back when I was 1 when this movie came out in 1992, but literally it's stand the test of time all the way through now that I'm 30 and stuff like that. I just think that the storyline, the graphics were not terrible for a Disney movie.
Sure.
Just opening up that stupid plastic square that had the VHS in there and popping it in, and you're good. Now, apparently nowadays, some kids are softer and they don't like seeing the lion or the tiger, I should say, that not Raja, the tiger that comes out of the sand. Some kids get freaked out by that when he's like,
it is a little scary, I will say.
Come on now, let's grow up a little bit. It's a Disney movie of 1982. But you got talking Stuart Little, over there. That doesn't scare you. That scares the crap out of me.
What's scary is when Will Smith played the Genie in the updated version.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Aladdin at the original, not that one.
Absolutely.
But number one overall for me is Aladdin.
No, it's a great pick. I do think you could have gotten this later. Aladdin was not really on my short list.
Right.
But I do think it is a good movie. A couple fun facts about Aladdin.
Oh, fun.
Robin Williams improvised so much in the recording that they had 16 extra hours of material just from his improvisations. Also, one other Robin Williams thing here. He ad-libbed so many of his lines, so when they submitted for like best screenplay and things like that, they got the script rejected because they're like, he didn't say any of the words that were on the script because the guy would improv so much. So definitely a classic movie for sure.
That's how he does. And that's how a lot of the people in Hollywood that are really good at ad-libbing. I think Bradley Cooper's done it a bunch as Rocket Raccoon maybe sometimes and stuff like that. I think that's the best part about being a voice actor sometimes, is that you can just go off and do whatever you want. And there's one other live action that I'm thinking of that I forgot exactly who it was off the top of my head. I feel like it's maybe Between Two Ferns when Zach Galifianakis. I think he does a lot of that stuff off the cuff, so no one is really ready for it.
No, it's a solid pick. I like it there. For my second pick and the third overall, I already know where I'm going.
We're doing snake draft.
No, I didn't. We abandoned the snake draft, didn't we?
Oh, we abandoned it? Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. We used to do, like, the very first time we did snake, then we were like, why are we doing snake? We should just be going back and forth, because then, like, one person getting 2 picks in a row.
True.
The fans can fact check me.
I got excited there for a second. I
apologize. So my second pick and the third overall is the 2003 Pixar film Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo is my pick there.
Not bad.
I think it is another one of those that's like so iconic. I've seen it. You got to have seen the movie like 15 times at this point. Albert Brooks, Ellen DeGeneres, Willem Dafoe, Jeffrey Rush, Just some classic names there. Of course, Ellen as Dory. Everybody was doing Dory impressions and laughing about Dory when it first came out.
Yep. Yep.
The second highest grossing film of 2003 and was the highest grossing animated film at the time of its release. Nominated for 3 Academy Awards and including winning one for Best Animated Feature, it was the first Pixar film to win a Oscar for Best Animated Feature. And I feel like this also Finding Nemo came around when like DVDs were just starting to be like a bigger and bigger thing, I think. And I just remember, I mean, you had to have Finding Nemo on DVD. You watched it a billion times in a row. Classic moments in that one as well. It's a great movie for sure.
Not a bad choice at all. Obviously, you got some decent characters in there when it comes to the voice actors. But the whole point is I love storylines, and I think storylines make a huge deal when it comes to a great movie. Now, obviously, there are some exceptions when it comes to animated movies, but Finding Nemo, obviously, I mean, it's in the title. You got to find Nemo.
Yeah, he's on the adventure. He's got to find his son, man.
Yeah. So the little Finn.
Great moment when like Nemo or the turtle or somebody's talking to Nemo towards the end, and he's telling him all the stories he heard about what Marlin's doing to try to find him and stuff, and he fought a shark and he did this and all this sort of stuff, and Nemo's like getting all hyped for his dad because he's like, that can't be my dad. My dad's a scaredy cat. It's like, no, dude, your dad did all this crazy stuff, and yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic.
Classic. All righty, so. I'm a little torn between some picks that I have that are a good amount of years apart. But I'm gonna go with this one. I got my pick.
The thing with this draft is you have the ability to like go get some OGs, but then there's also some fantastic like in the mid 2000s animated movies too. So
yeah.
All right, here we go. Pick is in.
The pick is in. The pick has a movie that has originated in 2001, so right after the millennium, right after the Backstreet Boys came out with their album. So the pick has a lot of famous voice actors and also famous actors in general in this one. And one of these main characters has been in multiple Disney movies. So the pick is Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Monsters, Inc. in 2001.
If you didn't get Monsters, Inc. here, I was going to get Monsters, Inc. It has to be in the top 5, in the picks of this draft and that sort of thing. Like, it's got to be there. John Goodman, Billy Crystal, Steve Buscemi. I mean, just absolute monsters. Randy Newman doing the music. When Randy Newman's on the keys for a movie, it's going to be good. It's a great one. It's a great one. That was a great impression of a piano being played for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So, yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, Billy Crystal is so underrated when it comes to just comedy, because if you think about it, he was in other famous movies for Disney as well, and live action, animated, whatever it is. I just think that his humor is just so it's just so like kind of under the radar to the point where like you look at Monsters Inc., even Monsters University, another movie. I don't think either of us are going to pick that one, but Monsters Inc. It's funny because like you see him go like this like all the time, and you can see like Mike Wazowski's hand motions going along with Billy Crystal's voice, and that's the funny thing. And John Goodman, perfect voice for Sully, subtle but rockabye baby type, like really nice, like it soothe you to sleep, by reading you a story. I wonder if he has any kids that read stories to. But anyway, so besides the point. But like John, I mean, the 2 famous guys, and like you said, some other guys, the Keys guy, whoever the hell you're talking about, Randy Newman or something, and whoever the hell that guy. I don't even know. I was joking. But yeah, I mean, what a great movie, great storyline. Boo. Hey, trivia question. Do you know what Boo's real name is?
Boo Radley. I have no idea. I don't know.
It's Mary. By the way,
that is a good trivia question.
It's a little tidbit that no one notices, because when she's sitting there holding up pictures of Randall to Sully, saying like, "This is my monster," right on the bottom corner on one of them it says Mary.
Her name. Yeah, that was so. Monsters Inc. is like the perfect especially at the time, and even to this day, where it was like you got maybe little cousins or younger siblings or something like that. It was a perfect movie where it's like it's a rainy day, we can't go play outside. Throw on Monsters Inc. And yeah, they're gonna get scared at some of when the monsters are acting a little scary or something like that, or like all that stuff. But in general, they're gonna have a good time because you got crazy stuff happening left and right in that movie. And yeah, I mean, obviously, like Billy Crystal and Goodman being together in those roles was fantastic. So no,
Yeah,
that if
awesome.
you hadn't taken Monsters Inc., I was going to go there.
Oh,
So
money.
here's where things get interesting. As we've gone through our first two picks, now we get to the kind of the middle back half of the draft. This is where I'm interested to see where we both go here. So I already know where I'm going to go because
Okay.
I think it would feel weird to let this drop below 5 because I feel like it is the OG of the OGs, and that is The Lion King. I think there's just no
Man.
way. There's no way it would have lasted past where we are right now. 1994, of course. Some all these have heavy hitters, man. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons in this, Nathan Lane, Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, there's so many incredible actors and actresses in this thing, but obviously it's the OG. I mean, it's like if you think of when I think of like an old school animated movie, Lion King is always going to be the one that comes to top of mind. The music is absolutely unbelievable in this one. Obviously the characters are great. The songs have lasted. I mean, this came out. What did I say in the 80s or whatever it came out?
No, it came. No, actually, the Aladdin was 92. Lion King was 94.
94. Yeah. So we're almost at the 30-year anniversary of the Lion King, and like those songs still last to this day. I mean, people still sing some of those songs and joking around.
Billy
and stuff.
Crystal, my man.
Yeah. There you go. So this is definitely a classic for me, and I feel like it would be a shame if we let it go below 5. So.
Well, the funny thing was, you said that you were going to take Monsters Inc. next if I didn't take it. Right. Well, I was going to take Lion King as well. So I was torn between Monsters Inc. and Lion King, but I kind of had to sway from my childhood and kind of go with a newer age film that's kind of anyways, besides the point. So my next pick, man,
do you know where you're going with this?
See, I think the next pick that I think that I'm going to have, I don't think that you would take them, just because I think it's going to be flying under the radar and might be my 5th overall.
Okay,
but I think this pick that I'm going to go with is more of a nostalgia reason, also with a great soundtrack. So the pick is in.
All right.
The pick
soundtracks are key for these animated movies a lot of the time, for sure.
Coming out in the year prior to my graduation from high school.
Okay.
2008. The movie is Mulan.
Okay.
Mulan.
Great soundtrack.
Heavy hitter, Donny Osmond, money on the mic, as always. I think he's still singing in Vegas. Right. I mean, you're looking at it, and Mulan is just, I mean, she sacrifices herself so her dad doesn't have to go to war with his gimp leg. And, she goes and cuts her hair off and calls herself Ping, which is weird. And, you're looking at it, and she just goes there, and for some reason, no one realizes she's a woman. I don't know why.
I think it would have come up earlier, but hey,
But literally, one of the best Disney songs ever to come out in history was, I think it's "Make a Man Out of You." I think is the title. I don't know the exact title of it.
Let's get down to
business.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's,
the
soundtrack's killer because it's not even just that one. There's a couple songs I feel like that are real solid in this one.
Yep. Eddie Murphy was Mushu, and I mean it's just the storyline in that. That also, now I'm not going to say
that song Reflection, remember? Like, when will my reflection? Oh my God. Some of those songs are just
when will my reflection show?
There he is.
Who I am. Wait, is that the right song?
No, that's the Reflection song.
But the biggest thing is, I mean, then she saves the emperor, and I don't know how someone survives an avalanche, but they did. And I always, what tilted me is that, like, they're on the mountain. They're like, let's go get him, like that small guy. And then all of a sudden, that little stump guy, and they say that, and they have they're like, get the rockets, and there's like 7 people like for their army. It's like, that's your reinforcements with seven people. Like, it just made no sense. But anyway, I love like obviously you have some of those weird moments in those movies, but like just the storyline. And I think honestly, and I'm not going to try to act like I know this, but it kind of feels like to me now that I'm an adult and I actually have adult money and I can actually have adult brain for the most part, that I could, you think about it. And I don't know if that was like the entry gateway into ethnicities or different things like that.
It's up there. I think it's up there. I think it's got to be. I mean,
because now you're looking at movies like like Coco and Encanto and all these different movies that are dealing with different heritages, and I don't know what you want to call it.
No, I fully agree. Like that's not a dumb take at all. I think you're completely right. I think Mulan was like an introduction. I mean, especially when it came out in '98, like that there wasn't really
2008. 2008.
No, Mulan didn't come out in 2008.
Yeah, it did.
No, there's no way.
I looked it up.
1998. Mulan, 1998.
Well, I don't know the website you gave me. I clicked on the movie. It said 2008. It didn't sound right when it was coming to my mind.
Maybe that was the other version of it or something.
No, the other version came out like 3 years ago.
You're right. I mean, I'm looking at the website I sent you. Mulan's not there in 2008. You know what you're probably looking at is it's number 208 on the list. No, it's not even that too.
I don't know what it was. I saw it, but I don't know what it was.
I was about to say, I was like, man, 2008 seems a little late for this. No, 1998 was Mulan. So that even more to what you had said. Like, yeah, there were not movies depicting like other cultures like this. So that's right. That's a good point. All right, so we are both 3 picks in. Just to recap, Mike has Aladdin, Monsters Inc., and Mulan. I have Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and Lion King. My 4th pick here will be. I thought about this for a bit, and I'm happy to take this. It's one of my it's one of those movies that flies under the radar sometimes. I feel like, but I'm going to Bug's Life, 1998. You have. Kevin Spacey, obviously, not a great name to have right now. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Hayden Panettiere, Dennis Leary. You had another Randy Newman composed movie. You had that weird. You had the weird feud where it was like A Bug's Life came out, and then that movie Ants came out at like the same time with like the same plot line.
That wasn't Disney, was it? Ants?
No, Ants was. I think it was created by like. I was trying to see right now, and I don't even see like who made DreamWorks. So that was DreamWorks. Ants was, and that had like Woody Allen and Sharon Stone and Sylvester Stallone and stuff. It's just kind of funny because they came out at the exact same time, pretty much. But A Bug's Life was definitely better. I get that it's not necessarily at the top of everybody's list, but I encourage you to go back and rewatch A Bug's Life. It's a lot better than you thought. Than maybe like thinking back and that sort of thing, but it's really solid, especially just like the Bug's perspective of everything and the way the camera is and stuff. It's an interesting movie, and I'm happy to take it there in my 4th pick.
I mean, A Bug's Life isn't bad. It's not a bad movie, but when we look at a draft, I just think that there's. I mean, I never even had it on my list of 10 that I wrote down.
Well, that's your mistake.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. A Bug's Life. His voice kind of. I don't know who it is. The voice of Flick is, but it just kind of annoys me a little bit sometimes. Now that I'm getting older, and he's like Princess Ada. It's like okay, like it's
well,
yeah. It's just.
Well, you don't have to come at Flick. All right.
Watch it be like some famous actor that I really like.
Flick.
Flick.
I was trying to. I mean, yeah, I remember the character.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know which one it. And then I don't even know. I mean, it's a good pick, but it's just like for me, it's not my style.
Sometimes you gotta go. You gotta decide like, are you going with your heart? It's Dave Foley is Flick. You don't. Yeah, he's from the Kids in the Hall. That's an improv thing. Don't worry about it. Yeah, look, you have to go with your heart sometimes in these drafts, especially late. I love A Bug's Life. I'm going to Bug's Life.
Okay, you love A Bug's Life, and I don't like Ants either. Ants is I mean, A Bug's Life and Ants are like kind of the same, but Bug's Life is better. Bug's Life is better. It's definitely better. So my pick is in, and man, the problem is with this is my last 5. I know which one I'm taking 5th. You know what? I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna kind of go a little newer, and honestly, I think this movie is a little bit underrated, but the comedic style in it, the story, some of the light humor,
Sure.
man, yeah. Do they have music in it? I don't know, man.
Oh, you got to make a pick here. That you're standing at the podium right now.
Okay, I'm at the podium. All right. So the pick is in, and the
Yeah.
pick for my fourth pick is from 2010, and it is Tangled. I'm gonna go with Tangled.
Wow, this is you might have just lost the draft.
Tangled, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna go
with
with
A Bug's Life. You're coming in with Tangled.
I was gonna go with something else, but
No, Tangled. Okay, in all seriousness, Tangled is a good movie. I do enjoy it. Mandy Moore, Zachary Levi. You know, it's solid. I mean, it's based on Rapunzel. That's kind of where it comes from. The humor is solid, but I mean, I think you panicked here.
I did.
I think this was a panic pick, and I'm worried for you that I think you might have just lost yourself the draft.
Well, it honestly, because like I said, I have one that's my lightning in a bottle fifth pick.
Sure,
but it was coming down to between three movies, and I did panic a little bit. But I didn't really have any explanation for the other three movies. I just like them.
That's all right. Hey, look, Tangled again, solid movie, solid cast. If we did a draft of our top 100 movies ever, not movies ever, animated movies ever, would it make the list? Sure, maybe like around 74, 75. In this draft, you chose fourth. So, I think we'll just move on. I don't think there's really much else to say about Tangled.
Moving on.
I think you dug your own grave there.
Who lost the draft, Tangled or Bug's Life?
Bug's Life crushes Tangled. My final pick here is honestly one of my favorite Disney movies. It's not a Pixar movie. It is a Disney movie. Came out in 1997. It is Hercules.
Oh, what a nubs pick.
Hercules.
So nubs.
Danny DeVito, James Woods, Rip Torn, Tate Donovan. Classic cast. It's a fantastic story. Obviously, you gotta love Hercules. He wants to go up there and be with his father Zeus, but he's still part human, so he's got to prove himself. And there's some terrific songs in there. Danny DeVito absolutely crushes it. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Honestly, I'd put this up there against anything.
You talk about Tangled being 74th in a top 100 animated movie. Come on now.
Hercules.
Hercules wasn't even in the top 30 on the sites that I looked at.
Hercules is a fantastic movie. James Woods being the voice of Hades, so damn good in that one as well.
That wasn't bad.
So I think this is the pick that I think people at home understand. Maybe they are a little bit higher class than my partner here. I don't know. Maybe they understand the true Greek mythology of Hercules, but Hercules is my fifth and final pick.
I'm glad people who know Greek mythology love Hercules the movie.
Yeah. So that's my five. Let's go over to you here, and then we'll wrap things up because we got to get to your Sultan of Seltzer reviews.
That's right. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, folks. So my last pick and lightning in a bottle. I'm going old school, man. I'm going old school. 1961.
Jesus. Okay.
This was before my parents were even born.
Right.
1961, the original 101 Dalmatians. 101 Dalmatians, great story about dogs. Who doesn't like a dog?
I'm fine with this pick.
And honestly, when you're looking at it, they made a remake, with Glenn Close. They also had House in there.
They also did another remake with the one, that Cruella movie, remember, with Emma Stone?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, when it was the original was made in 1961,
61, and then 96 was the other one, the Glenn Close one, and then You got
and in the original, or excuse me, the live action one, you had whatever the guy that plays House, he was in there.
Hugh Laurie,
Hugh Laurie, he was one of the bandits or whatever the hell they call him.
Right, I remember that. Okay, yeah.
But the original though, it's just I love the narrator bit. So they have like a narrator, like Perdita looking out over the garden. It's like they sit there. It's just soothing.
How do you remember the names of the dogs?
Perdita and Pongo. My favorite one is Rolly. He loves to eat.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure they have a lot of other ones. They have 101 for goodness sake. But it's like literally that one is just a lightning in the bottle because it's just like it's kind of like a date night type movie. Like if it's on at the Alamo Theater and you're like, hey, let's go see a Disney movie at the Alamo. Let's go out, get something to eat or whatever, then go to the Alamo, have a couple drinks, and just chill and watch a nostalgic movie. 101 Dalmatians is going to possibly win this draft because it's going to bring me back from Tangles.
It definitely brings you back from Tangle, and I don't have anything to like make fun of you about it because I do think it's a classic. I think classic villain. We may do a villains draft at some point. Cruella DeVille.
Nice.
Cruella DeVille is got to be up there and is one of the top villains for sure. She was scary as hell, man.
Oh yeah.
And
Cruella, underrated movie. I liked it. With Emma Stone.
Yeah. No, so that's a solid pick there. That rounds out your 5 again. Mike's 5 picks here. He's got Aladdin, Monsters Inc., Mulan, Tangled, and 101 Dalmatians. I went with Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Lion King, A Bug's Life, and Hercules. And again, with this draft, each of us in our top 3s are real solid. That 4 and 5, that's where we'll let the people decide. You'll be able to vote on Twitter at the DC Crossover. Throw your hair out the tower window because you're a big Tangled fan.
Hey.
Hey,
so honorable mentions, though. I have Wall-E,
sure.
Up, and The Incredibles.
All solid. Yeah, we picked everybody on my board, so I don't even have anybody really left.
Oh, you went with Tangled?
No, well, yeah, not Tangled. Tangled was certainly not on my board, but everybody else was. Heck, I even thought Brave was better than Tangled.
I didn't even see Brave. I don't like her. I don't like her hair. I don't like her look.
Well, okay, all right. Inside Out, low key, great movie too. Not in this realm, but still like pretty solid. Cars, another possible. And then they just don't. As much as I know people love like Luca and Frozen and Soul and all that stuff, nothing really stands up to some of those Pixar. That run of Pixar movies is unbelievable. When you think about it,
like a 15-year run,
it's crazy. All right, let's get into before we do our final lap. It is time for the Sultan to appear. Speaking of Aladdin, we do, of course. I don't have again. Oops, there's
boy,
Johnny. That's the theme song for the segment right there. But yeah, I since I've been sick all week, I didn't have a chance to put together any music for the Sultan here. But it is his time to give his Sultan of Seltzer reviews, as the Sultan has rated a couple seltzers so far. He did 3 Birds Hard Seltzer Mango Lemonade. That was a 7.6 out of 10. The Smirnoff Pink Lemonade, 7.4 out of 10. And now today, Sultan, what do we have in store for the people?
So the Sultan, and don't get me wrong.
By the way, if you are watching, you should watch on YouTube if you aren't right now, because Mike is wearing his Sultan hat. Or I'm sure you'll see this on the I almost said the contender on TikTok, DC Crossover Podcast.
Yes. So last week I said I needed a hat, and to be non-offensive, I went with one of my number 1 picks, Aladdin.
Yeah, it makes sense. If I had chosen Aladdin, this whole bit wouldn't have worked. So
yeah, it wouldn't have worked
in the draft. You got it.
Thank God for Jafar. Another villain. Mark it up. So the first review with the official Sultan hat. Maybe next week when we have the official Sultan music with the Sultan hat.
Right.
Maybe that'll be the really first one official. So the Truly that I bought, it's a Truly brand. Obviously, a lot of these brands are now coming out with so many different varieties of their seltzers. This one is a poolside pack, limited edition.
I like that.
So there are 4 different poolsides. A lot of words in this title. So this one is the Truly Kiwi Mojito Style.
Interesting. I've not had this. I've definitely not had this.
Just crack it open.
Kiwi Mojito Style. The Sultan is now taking a look at the can. He is now drinking the can. Again, he rates on things like appeal, taste, and then he rates overall. Let me see the can in the camera for a second here. Okay, so you got the kiwi there. I see that at the top. Okay. It's Truly always makes a solid looking can for sure.
The poolside pack is always nice because, well, I say always, I've only had it once.
Yeah.
It's nice because the box is this color. It's like a light baby blue kind of cool box, and it has like tropical things on it.
I always like the Truly boxes because you got like the red box for the punch pack. You got
Yep.
the black box for the lemonade packs.
Snowflakes for the holidays.
Yeah.
Whatever. So this one's the Kiwi Mojito style. So
Let me
I'm
know
not gonna.
when you're close to giving your grade.
Oh, yeah, I got
drum
you.
roll. Okay.
So the appeal is It's pretty nice. I mean, Truly always, like you said,
Solid.
has a nice can. The lemonades are black cans.
Mhm.
And they're powerful because
Love
they're the
lemonade.
best. This one's more of like a, hey, I'm on my pool float.
Yeah, you look like a young mom that she just wants to get away from the family a bit. She's floating around in the local pool, and sipping on her Truly kiwi mojito style.
Right. So the can is definitely really nice. The taste. Let me do one more sipper.
Yeah, do another sip here. Sultan's taking his second sip.
Sorry. Wow, that actually is pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Ooh, the Sultan is a little taken aback by the taste. You could say, yeah, he's getting looks pretty thrilled. Oh,
that one was that one wasn't that great.
The whole crowd went, oh, because he made a face there that did not bode well for Truly.
Hold on, I gotta take another one.
All right, one more. This is getting a little okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sorry, the whole can. All right.
I usually do pretty quickly.
Everything will taste good after a couple of those.
That's right. All right. So I have the
You ready for the
official
drum roll?
rate overall for the Truly
All right.
Kiwi Mojito Style Poolside Pack Limited Edition, all in one breath. It is a 6.9. 6.9.
6.9 from the Sultan.
Not great, not bad. It was a great first couple sips, but then after you get it, I feel like I'm drinking like some medicine kind of taste.
That's not good.
Aftertaste.
Not good.
It was like at first it was going to be like an 8.1. I was like, man, it's actually really good, and then it went down a whole point because it was like weird aftertaste.
That's the lowest score the Sultan has rated one of these seltzers at this point, 6.9. So right now it's
getting worse.
It's been getting okay. You got to stop because you're just gonna throw up. I'm not a big kiwi guy in anything. I'm not a big mojito guy either. So like I think I'd probably be around where you are with your score. My guess is somewhere in the 6s.
Right.
So right now, 3 Birds hard seltzer mango. Jesus, 3 Birds hard seltzer mango lemonade. The leader in the clubhouse at 7.6 out of 10. That is your Sultan of Seltzer review. Let's hit up the final lap. Chance to give some quick analysis on some big stories in sports. I would like you to keep the hat on, by the way.
I was going to ask that.
Here we go. Colorado. The Avalanche sweep the Oilers in the Western Final. Mike, sweep at this stage of the playoffs. Don't see that happen too much.
It's kind of unbelievable how the last 2 rounds have played out because of the sole fact that there's been sweeps, there's been blowouts. I mean, 2 of their games out of the 4, they scored like over double-digit goals. It was crazy.
The Rams make Aaron Donald the highest paid non-QB in the NFL.
Now, I don't know if you want to pay a guy like that who plays that position that much money, but at the same time, he's producing every single year, so it's not like his production is going to downfall because he's making more money now.
Came up big in the Super Bowl.
That's
the
right.
Bruins fire their head coach.
A lot of head coaches are getting fired nowadays, especially in baseball, hockey, whatever you want to say. A lot of head coaches are getting fired. The Bruins, tasty job. I wonder who they're going to pick up, one of those vets. Maybe our friend from New York.
Barry Trotz. Joe Madden fired today as well, as you mentioned, the MLB. And we'll see where he ends up. The Warriors even up the NBA Finals. Kind of a weird finals. You had, game 1 kind of go one way, lopsided towards the end. You had game 2. Obviously, the Warriors exploded in the late, in the fourth quarter, third quarter in that one. Where do you think Game 3 goes at this point, Mike? I mean, there's no team has really shown an advantage yet.
Well, it's also kind of crazy because they're traveling between both cities. I mean, you couldn't get 2 farther cities than Boston, Massachusetts, and I don't know, San Francisco, I guess. Consider that not Golden State, California. But it's kind of crazy. I think that's a big factor as well. But you're looking at this series, and it's kind of 2 different styles of play. I mean, you got a lot of great shooters for the Warriors, and the Celtics play some pretty good defense for the most part, and they like low scoring games. So I don't know how it's going to end up, but it would be nice to see Steph win one because I'm not a big Celtics guy.
If the Warriors win Game 3, they win the whole series for sure. That is without a doubt. We'll do a quick little round of trivia here. It is a segment we do every week where we give our...
I like this jewel.
Yeah, that's like that's a lot of power in that jewel, I think. Like if I stare at it too long, I'm going to turn to stone or something.
Okay, Medusa.
I'm going to give you a trivia question. This is a Detroit sports trivia question. Mike gives me a DC sports trivia question. I'm going to edit this question a bit to not make it so easy. Okay, what linebacker who earned multiple Super Bowl rings with his new team after the Lions traded him in 2016? Lions trade a linebacker in 2016. He wins multiple rings. Who is that linebacker? I don't want to give away the team. I don't want to give how many rings and that sort of thing because I just think it'd be too easy.
So you're saying 2017 to 2022 or 2021?
Yes.
Yeah.
Multiple Super Bowl wins. It was a linebacker. He was traded from Detroit to this new team.
So the question is the player, right? You're saying
the player? Yeah.
I know this. I just
very well known guy.
Well, I'm trying to think of the team that won multiple Super Bowls in that time frame. Not the Bucks, not the Rams, not the. I don't think the Patriots won multiple in those. Tell me the team.
The Patriots.
Okay, that was the only guess I was going to have for multiple.
Yeah.
Man, I want to say Dante. Is it Donta or Donta?
I know who
Dante?
you're talking about. That's not who it is. No.
Jeez Louise. For a
three, it's a three name. Like
I know. Like Benjamin St. Just.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Benjamin St. Just, is it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. That's who it is, actually.
When you tell me, I'm gonna know it.
Kyle Van Noy.
Noy.
Yes, won
Jeez,
two.
I didn't know he was with the Lions.
Yeah. Great. That's a great trade, wasn't it? Trade him to the Patriots.
Yeah.
He wins 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls. Great for him. What do you got for DC trivia here, Mike? For me to get wrong.
Yeah, right. So the DC sports trivia question of the week. After agreeing to a 5-year deal in 2002, how many seasons did Steve Spurrier serve as the Redskins head coach before resigning his post?
This is going to be a complete guess for me here.
Think of how many coaches they've had since 2002. Last 20 years.
A zillion.
Horny for Zorny.
Yeah. Horny for Zorny.
Remember that?
So that was I do. That was when I was I in high school or middle school for Zorn? I feel like I might have been in middle school. I remember I got one of those shirts, and then like I wore it to school, and the teachers were like, "Don't ever wear that shirt again."
Don't ever wear that.
It says horny on it. All right. I mean, I'm horny for Zorny. What do you want me to say? I'm gonna say he lasted 3.
2 years. Only 2. Only 2. Close, but no cigar.
Spurrier. All right. And to end today's episode, we'll throw out our moneyline picks. I'm catching up to Mike now. I mean, again, keep in mind, we've both been terrible this round, but I am now 1 point behind Mike. So hopefully I can overtake him this week. We'll see. My lock of the week will be the Tampa Bay Lightning -1.5 against the Rangers here. And then my dog, I just think when you've got some of the best shooters on the planet, I'm going to choose you, even if you're a dog in the NBA Finals. Warriors +3.5 versus Boston. Those are my picks of the week here on the money line.
I choose you, Pikachu.
There we go.
So Mike's picks
Pokemon
of the week.
Pokemon draft could get interesting.
Not a bad one. I only know maybe 10. But actually know more than that. I should honestly.
You know a decent amount. I mean, I think we would, and I definitely know a decent amount. I mean, we stick with the original.
Yeah, the original. I'm not gonna go with the 1000th Pokemon.
Right.
By the way, there's a funny story real quick. I actually was walking out of school the other day, and I had one of my students that was sitting there trading Pokemon cards, and I said, "Hey, I'll trade you a Charizard for Snorlax," and the kid was like, "Wait, you really got one?" And I was like. And I opened my pockets up out of my basketball shirt. I was like, not today. He was trying to tell me when to bring it. And I was like, I'm just joking. I'm joking. All right. So here are my picks of the week for the Sultan. Lock, Dodgers money line at San Fran on Friday. Walker Bueller's pitching against Logan Webb. Going to be a great low-scoring game. Possibly, we'll see. Both ERAs are practically the same as of this point. But I'm just going to go with the Dodgers. I love my boy Trey Turner. I'm going to go with him. Maybe he'll steal a base or two this game. Who knows? Out there in McCovey Cove, baby. My dog, Tampa Bay, plus 145 money line in Game 5. Obviously, Game 4 is tonight as we record this on Tuesday, an off night for us. But on Game 5, I'm going with Tampa Bay because who knows what this next game is going to be. Maybe the Rangers win, and then obviously the Tampa Bay Lightning are on the ropes. But I think either way, I think they can have this game. I think they're a heavy underdog. That's some pretty good plus money for a Tampa Bay team that's still a good team. Vasilevsky's, I think he's just given up way too many goals, and he's definitely going to possibly come back and try to get this series back in Tampa Bay's favor. So Tampa Bay plus 145 money line as of right now in game number 5.
Those are our picks. Again, bet responsibly, and hope you enjoyed another episode of the off season here, the DC crossover. Again, bringing you some non-sports content, of course, as you enjoy your summer. The school year is almost done, final week of the school year here locally, and then it's going to be a nice summertime extravaganza here on the show. Again, follow the Twitter at the DC Crossover. Tomorrow we'll be putting up the graphic for your votes, and you'll have multiple days to get your votes in for your favorite draft, either Mike or my team for the Disney Pixar draft. Follow the TikTok.
I'll even put it on the TikTok, by the way. I'll put it on the TikTok too.
Put it on the TikTok. Again, that is DC Crossover Podcast on TikTok. Follow Mike on Twitter as well at Cerrone16. Subscribe to the show, rate and review, all that good stuff we always say. And besides that, everybody, we will see you next week. This has been another episode of the DC Crossover. The Sultan of Seltzer.